Now dive into running a sales call. So I'm going to kick things off talking about the discovery call. So the discovery call, or a qualifying call, like I mentioned previous lesson, is designed to achieve two main purposes. One, can my prospect afford my program? And two, are they a good fit, right? Can and will my offer help them? And do I want to work with them, right? Do they actually do bank products? If not, not a good fit. Let's get rid of them. So let's go over the 7 stages of a discovery call. So they break down like this. Actually, let me change this. All right, there we go. I just wanted to do it one at a time so it was easier to see. So the 7 stages of discovery's call. The first part is the opener. This is where we set the agenda and build rapport, right? We basically set it up. Hey, thanks for jumping on the call. Make sure they still have time. This is going to be 20, 30 minutes. Does it still work for you? Perfect. Here's what I like to do on the call. I like to go through some questions, understand more about your business, make sure it's a good fit. Cool. That's the opener. We're taking control of the conversation. We're setting the agenda. Next, we dive into their interest. So tell me, what made you book a call with me? Right? Why are we talking here today? You saw my post, right? On Facebook. You reached out to me. We're on a call. What made you book a call with me here today? Let's understand their interest. Usually when we ask this question, they're usually going to just dive into like their whole life story. They're going to tell you about all their problems. People love to talk. And so our job now is to just shut up and listen. Listen to what they're telling. They're going to give us so much information. They're going to tell us about their pain points. They're going to tell us what their goals are. They're going to tell us all these nightmare stories that they've had. But we're looking for clues. We're looking for hooks that we can pull on, that we can tug on, where they say something like, oh, I'm getting all these ridiculous fees on my software. Boom. Okay, cool. There's a line that I can pull on, and I can go down that conversation where I can uncover more pain by understanding how much they're paying for their software, what kind of ridiculous fees are they getting hit with, and now I can be the solution to those problems, right? So this is how we just have a really good conversation. Think of it as a more consultative approach where we're like a doctor. We're trying to diagnose their business, what their problems are, what their issues are, what their goals are, and how do we get them there. So we have to understand their current situation, right? So if they just say, if they're very vague about their interest, like, oh, I saw the post, I saw it looked kind of interesting, so I just wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Okay, cool. Well, first thing first, tell me a little bit more about your business. How did you do this last tax season? Did you grow? Did you decrease? How many products did you do? How many prepares do you have? Do you have anyone working with you? Are you solo, right? We want to understand their business. We want to understand where they're at. What kind of software do you currently use? What do your fees look like? Basically, the objective here is we want to dig deeper into their current scenario so we can uncover pain points. Dig deeper, right? Tell me a little bit about your software. What kind of fees, right? And here's the thing. If we're asking all these questions and everything seems like it's sunshine and lollipops, so they're like, oh no, I grew, happy with my software, love it, right? Oh yeah, love my customers. If they're like all sunshine and dandelions and you're like, okay, well, sorry, I just got to come back to it. I'm just kind of curious, like, why are we here today? Right? Loop it back to the very beginning. It's like, okay, well, it seems like everything's fine and dandy in your life and in your business. So why did you book a call? Like, why are we talking here? Sometimes that is going to be what's going to trip them to go back and be like, well, I really wanted to talk about this because XYZ. Ah, okay. Now we're uncovering some pain. Now they're telling us about the problems or the challenges that they're facing in their business. And that ultimately leads to, okay, now that I understand your current scenario, I understand some of those pain points. Where do you want to be, right? Where do you want to be in business, right? Understand their goals and objectives, right? What would a good software deal look like for you, right? I usually wouldn't ask something like that, but that's kind of what we want to understand, right? If they're sick and tired of paying all these fees, well, they're telling you what their desired scenario is. They don't want all these ridiculous fees, right? That's their desired scenario. If they're struggling to grow their tax business, oh, so-and-so left me, they took all their customers, I decreased. All right, sounds like they need some assistance growing their tax business. That is their desired scenario. Tell me, and then ask their goals. You can even say, hey, listen, it sounds like you really want to do a lot of stuff. What's your goal next tax season? Like you told me you did 50 returns last year. What do you want to hit this year? Is that like doubling? Right? We need to understand their goals. We need to understand their objectives. Remember the emoji slide, right? They're here in pain, and we need to understand where they want to go into the promised land, where they're happy and business is booming, right? We have to get them to actually tell us what their goals are. And then finally, what's going to stop them from getting there? This is a really great question. Hey, what do you think is going to be the biggest roadblock or the biggest bottleneck that's going to stop you from hitting that goal? Or if they say, yeah, I want to double my business, I want to get 100 customers. Great. That's awesome. That's a great goal to have. I'm curious, what do you feel like is going to be the biggest challenge or the biggest bottleneck that you're going to have to deal with in order to hit that goal? Now they're getting real. Now you're really getting them to think about their business deeper than saying, that's a good question. Probably the marketing. I just don't really know how to market. I don't know how to get more customers. Cool. Now they're telling us the problems. They're telling us more pain points. And then finally, from there, once we've done all this stuff, we can transition to the next steps. This would either be going into the pitch, like doing a mini presentation on the phone, or like I said, and we'll get more into this later on, is scheduling a demo or a closing call with them. So that would be the next steps, is moving into the pitch. So the pitch or a presentation, after running the discovery process, we can move the conversation to the pitch or schedule a presentation. Now, like I said, in this day, what we're going to do, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do it all in one call. So the discovery is maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then we want to spend the next 5 minutes just doing a really quick pitch of our program. Again, when we're selling a software package for like $500 or something like that, we usually don't have to do a whole separate presentation, like a 2-step call. Usually if we want to break these into 2 calls, it's if we're selling a high ticket package. Like maybe it's like $1,500 or $2,000. Very rarely someone's going to get on the phone with you and after 30 minutes, they're going to spend $2,000. You got to be really, really good at sales. You got to have a dialed in process. But if we spend 15, 20 minutes just going through questions, learning about their business, understanding what their problems are, what their pain points are, where they want to go, what they want to achieve in business, again, ultimately we're qualifying them, making sure that there's alignment with what they want to do and what our program is going to offer them. Then we go to the pitch. Hey, look, based on the conversation, this is the first bullet point here. We need to transition the discovery to the pitch. We say, hey, look, based on a conversation, based on what you want to do, you want to achieve this, this, and that. I think my package is a great fit. It's going to help you achieve your goals. We're going to be able to put more money in your pocket, reduce those fees for you. Is it cool if I spend the next couple minutes? This is getting permission to sell. Is it cool if I spend the next couple minutes just breaking down what's included in the program? Oh yeah, for sure. Cool. Now we highlight the core feature of the package and we need to relate them back to how it's going to solve their specific problems and pain points. How are we going to help them achieve their goals? Right? If we can paint that picture, if we can show them, hey, look, my program includes this, this, and that, and it's going to help you do that just like you told me you wanted to do, or it's going to solve this problem that you told me about before. Now we're relating it specifically back to how it's going to directly benefit them. And if possible, show them how you can put money back into their pockets. This is a huge thing, right? And again, there's that bonus video further down below where it goes into all that stuff. Now, sales tactics. I'm going to go over some sales tactics here real quick with you guys. We have to paint the picture so our prospect sees how our offer or package will help them. And we do this by talking about the features and benefits of our program. So what do I mean by this? Well, every time that we talk about a feature of our offer, we must explain the benefit to the prospect, right? The value that it's actually going to give them. So an example is at the very bottom here, one of the lessons in the value asset package, right? It's titled How to Create Irresistible Offers. So when I'm going through the pitch, I would say, hey, and we also have a training on how to create irresistible offers so that you can attract more new customers into your business, right? The feature of the package is this training called How to Create Irresistible Offers. But the benefit, basically what's going to give them value, is that they're going to learn how they can attract more new customers into their tax business. That's the value. If you just said, oh, it includes how to create irresistible offers, we also have this training, blah, 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 and you just literally just bullet point or just list off one thing after the other, the value is lost on the customer. But if we can say the feature of it and the ultimate benefit to the prospect, now they're linking up. Oh, okay, so this lesson is going to show me how to attract more new customers. I want that, right? That's valuable to them. I want that. So how do we close a deal? If we can achieve these 3 things, it's going to be a no-brainer decision. Now, you don't have to achieve all 3 of these in order to actually close a deal. If you can just simply solve some of their problems, that may be enough for them to buy. If you can solve their problems and help them hit their goals, that is probably enough for them to buy. But if you can solve their problems, help them hit their goals, and if you can show them how you can put more money back in their pocket, that's a no-brainer decision, right? Remember, guys, from creating your offers, how do we get people to just buy stuff? Well, we tip the value so ridiculously high in exchange for the small amount that they have to pay to get access to our package that it's a no-brainer. We get them out of pain point. We solve their problems. we help them achieve their goals, and if possible, we even put more money back into their pocket, why would someone not buy our software? Okay. So that's how we just really simplify this whole mysterious, this whole overcomplicated realm of sales. And we just have a good conversation with someone. We learn about their business. What are they trying to do? How can we help them? And if possible, hey, we can even put more money back into your pocket by eliminating some of these fees or cutting your fees in half and giving you the difference. Boom. Now we've got a no-brainer decision. Okay. So in the next lesson, we're going to break it into a few different things, but we're going to break down each one of these things. I'm also going to do a lot of technology stuff in Tax Night. We're actually going to show, okay, now we're in a conversation. We got someone on the hook. They're ready to buy. How do we actually go and process that payment? I'm going to show